Gotti, a div. Yeah, a point, lean, smoking that reef. Yeah, got tats on my body, I look like a leaf. Yeah, just testing my shot, I wanna come meet you. Yeah, I go in the booth, yeah, and walk on the feature. I'm topping the charts, yeah, we topping the meters. Yeah, my baby say she don't fuck with these bitches. Okay, cool.
Canada is on track to face its worst ever year of wildfire destruction. The country has been battling what experts believe is the most severe wildfire season on record there. About 8.2 million acres of land have already been burned. That's about 13 times more than the average over the last decade.
New research has found last year's wildfire season in Canada released more carbon emissions than all but 3 nations on Earth. The study published in the journal Nature says Canadian wildfires put out 647 megatons of carbon in 2023. That's higher than the total amount of emissions released by 7 of the world's 10 largest emitters in 2022, including Russia, Japan, and Germany. Only China, the US, and India released more. The study says although Canadian forests do pull carbon out of the atmosphere, increasing fire activity could reduce their effectiveness.
So Canada kinda caught fires. I know this is not some clickbait thumbnail because in 2023, Canada experienced their worst wildfire of the season. More than 18 million hectares burned. Smoke blacked out the cities. Even the sky of New York turned orange. The smoke doesn't just stay in Canada. It drifted across the borders, even reaching US cities like Chicago. And it doesn't just stay there, it floats to Europe. But the biggest question is, what caused the wildfire? Is it just the nature doing its thing? Or are we part of the problem? Let's break it down. First, what exactly are wildfires? Wildfires are uncontrollable fires that spread across forests, greenlands, and towns, and are usually caused by a mix of dry conditions like wind, lightning, and yes, humans. Wildfires are normal in Canada, but in 2023, they weren't normal. They were catastrophic. The wildfires started way earlier, in March, and been going on for months. And by the end, it already burned 18.4 million hectares, and that's way bigger than the country of Syria. It's also 1/5 of Canada's total forests. The wildfires were so big, it changed the weather. It created its own wind, lightning, as well as fire clouds. It's like nature turning on itself. And the heat waves that help fuel the fire, it weren't normal either. In some places, it hits 40 degrees Celsius and stayed like that for days.
So let's talk numbers. Because it wasn't just a big fire, it was off the charts. More than 6,500 wildfires were reported. In Quebec alone, nearly 5 million hectares were scorched. That's like more than 25 times than the usual. So the smoke got so bad that the air quality in major cities hit dangerous levels. People in New York City wore masks, not for COVID this time, but because of the Canadian wildfire smoke. And yes, NASA tracked the smoke because it reached Europe. That's right. Countries like Iceland and Norway saw hazy skies caused by the Canada's fires. It became a worldwide air problem. The fires also release a huge amount of carbon, over 640 million tons. That's more than what a country like Japan produces in a year. Wildfires normally happen in summer, but in 2023, they were starting earlier and lasting longer. In some areas, fires came back just weeks after being put out. And the smoke, it didn't just smell bad. It also carried tiny particles called PM2.5 that can get deep into your lungs and even can affect your heart.
The destruction were not just in the forest, but people were affected too. Tens of thousands had to evacuate their home. So many people lost everything. Business shut down and the school can't open. The air was so toxic. Just breathing felt like smoking 7 cigarettes a day. Animals also did not escape either. Entire ecosystem were wiped out. Firefighters, including the volunteers, put their life on the front line. In towns like Yellowknife and Kelowna, people has only a minute to come out. Many families has to evacuate more than once. Hospitals also were overwhelmed. So many people struggled to breathe, and some people stayed indoors for a week just to avoid the smoke. What's about the total damage? It's more than 10 billion Canada dollars. And even after the surface wiped out, some continue to burn underground. They are called zombie fighters. They can burn under the ground all winter long and may even start a new wildfire next year.
So, what now? Was this just bad luck, or is there something deeper? The truth is, climate change has made this worse. The hotter temperature dry out forests, lightning storm increase, fire season starting earlier and lasting longer. But this isn't a hopeless story. There are solutions, some of which have existed for centuries. Indigenous fire stewardship, smart forestry, and better emergency funding can save lives. We also need stronger building rules and more teamwork between provinces and countries, because fire doesn't care about borders. Prepare is the key. More training for emergency team, clearer alerts, and faster evacuation can make all the difference, because it's not just about saving trees, it's about saving people too.
The fires of 2023 may be fading, but the scars they left will last for decades. This was a warning shot, and if we ignore it, we'll see more fires, more floods, more disaster we couldn't have seen coming. But now, we know. So let's not forget, let's not repeat. It wasn't just a problem for Canada. It affected people in other countries too, because what we do to the earth affects everyone. This crisis shows us that no place is truly safe on its own. We saw people being brave, kind, and strong. But the real question is, can we take action before the next big fire happens? Will we wait for another disaster or learn from this one?